This is an Audio Wool original.
It is Frightday. I'm your host, Byron, broadcasting live not only from our compound in the woods of Montana, but on location in the heart of the Kingdom of Magic. Over there. Yeah, I see you.
Oh, Magic Kingdom. I was like,
it was,
Kingdom of Nye,
yeah,
Art Bell.
Uh-huh. And we're not...
Got it.
Like those other horror podcasts, you know, the ones who race to tell you their takes on the greatest genre films of the year before the year's even over. Sometimes even before Christmas. What the heck are those guys doing?
Absurd.
We wait almost a full month into the next one to give you our thoughts. It's the top 13 horror films of 2024. As well as, I was going to say as well as what we're looking most forward to, but I believe that we've shifted that to Behind the Screams content. But yeah, we're also going to take a peek into the future in another year of Kelly's Cryptids and of Kelly's Creepy Predictions is what it's called.
It is. It is.
Yes, I'm joined tonight by Kelly. I can't even lie and say it's tonight. Literally, there's a giant blue sky behind me.
Blue sky. Well, I'm in a different time zone, right? So it could be tonight for you.
It's actually later where you are, significantly.
I know.
Yeah.
I was just going to let that go, though. People don't think about time zones.
Sam can't make it because he got a tummy ache from eating too much Dole Whip.
Funny story, in about 3 hours, Byron, we go to the Magic Kingdom for an after hours event where you go at 7 and you stay until 1 a.m. and it's all you can eat popcorn, all you can eat Mickey ice cream sandwiches and ice cream bars, and all you can drink soda.
Well,
so his tummy is going to hurt really bad really soon.
I mean, what else do you go for? Big turkey leg? I see you got a spindrift. Nothing like a spindrift.
Well, I'm trying to lighten my stomach up before I go there. It's like only 2,000 people buy tickets, and so you just like walk on the lines. It's really, really fast. It's like the special event thing.
Oh, okay.
And it's literally like all you can eat buffet.
Well, pop
included with the price of ticket.
Is not like a real like.
And ice cream sandwiches and Mickey bars.
Sure.
Those Mickey bars go for $6 a piece, Buster.
Wonderful. Having a good time over there?
Yeah. There's a gator outside the condo we're staying in.
Okay.
And the girl's named her Alice.
For any reason in particular?
No, I don't know. Pukwudgie has very specific names that come to her about things. Watched some fireworks last night while Pukwudgie protested the fireworks and built a kind of like a sand mandala, but out of flower petals on a Disney trash can. Because she doesn't like the fireworks.
I don't like fireworks either. That was actually what caused one of the largest explosions in our personal relationship.
I did hear that.
Remember that?
Oh, I thought you were going to say, yes, that is true. Also, I was going to say that you won. Because did you hear that the Florida the Florida fire is still burning? It's just a metaphorical, existential one. But the California fire started from fireworks on New Year's Eve.
I didn't know that. That's wild. New Year.
So you won.
I actually don't really care. I like blowing stuff up. Maybe not the sky ones. They're fine. Once you've seen 5, it's pretty much all you need. But New Year...
I'm going to get you to Disney, and then you're going to see it, and you're going to be like, okay, Kelly,
beautiful.
They're pretty freaking sweet.
I don't really care. It's the only thing different is it looks like the Mickey head, and I don't really need that in my life. New Year, same phone number.
The Frightday phone lines are now open.
Wait, they're not open. Sorry about that. Wrong button.
Sorry.
New Year, same phone number, and I push maybe... I guess... Did I delete it? This is the worst. Same number. Let's just fast forward.
The Frightday phone lines are now open.
Oh, here it is.
Call 1-833-374-4489 now to share your paranormal encounters and real-life nightmares, or to talk horror with the hosts.
I know it's late in the year to be doing resolutions, but get our phone number in your phone and call us whenever you'd like, okay? You could be...
Oh, yeah, because honestly, Chinese New Year is coming up.
I think it was actually over the weekend, wasn't it? Celebrations over the weekend? You're
probably. Hear of the snake.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
The skater didn't get the memo.
This guy did just that.
Hi, this is Ken. I have had a stroke about 1.5 years ago, so I might sound a little bit slushy. Anyway, I want to talk about movies. And Patton Oswalt loves the movie Coherence. And I want to know if you've seen that movie. Because I have, and it's awesome. Anyway, before I go, I want to give a shout out to my friend Stasa, who I turned her onto your podcast, and we're movie watching buddies.
Oh.
So that's it.
Fabulous.
Ken.
Everybody needs a movie watching buddy first.
Yeah.
Yay.
Shout out.
Second of all, I think you're doing great. Recovery from things like that is a beast, and bravo to you, because I get nervous to call in for no good reason, and we really appreciate the effort it took to call in. That was really amazing of you, Ken. Thank you. And Coherence kicks ass. In fact, Byron, I'm not kidding you. I was typing up my notes for the specific movies on our top list that I'm supposed to speak about. And literally, I'm talking about Coherence in one of my references for one of my movies. So, Ken, yes, love that movie. Freaking great. It's from what I call my golden years of indie horror viewing. I have a very special place in my heart for it. I love that you've seen it. And hopefully I can give you some other adjacent ones to watch that you might like, including one that's on my top 13 for the year.
Yeah, 2013 was a good year. I personally don't love this film as much as Kelly does. I love it. I love the production company, Oscilloscope Pictures, Laboratories, pardon me. Let's be proper with it. Great work. And I found out this film was shot in 5 days for $50,000. Did you know about that?
I did.
Yeah,
I did. Badass.
Patton, good taste, and really does support cinema. So, I guess.
Also, we were talking about him last night because we were riding a ride and his voice was in the queue. He was narrating something in the queue. So weird. Lots of synchronicity there, Ken. Very weird. Ken, you're in my head, man. Well, maybe he's in Florida. Sorry, there's a really loud plane, Byron. I know you're not a fan of the background noises. It was really quiet out here.
You're doing your absolute best, and I appreciate it. Thanks, Kelly. So yeah, give us a call, 1-833-374-4489, 1-833-FRIGHT9. Give us a call like Ken did.
Sweet. So weird.
What?
Weird coincidences. Can't wait to tell Sam about that. He's going to be like, whoa, what? Weird.
What weird? That's the theme for 2024?
Can I tell him the story about Ken?
Quite possibly.
Yeah.
I think it's time. You and I took a couple extra weeks to play catch up, and I think it didn't really have that much of an effect on our list, really. But
it impacted mine tremendously.
Interesting. Okay, well, let's talk about it. Of course. I wish I had better because it's time to look back at the year 2024 and give you our top 13.
Oh, this is weird. You play that on New Year's. You don't play that other times.
I know.
That's strange.
Isn't it weird? It's twisted.
It's through my vibe, man.
I'm a creature of habit, a creature of tradition, and that's what we've used every year when we discuss our year-end stuff. So why not, Kelly?
I do love traditions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And breaking tradition, usually at this point we would talk about some films that were on the cusp of making the top 13. I think for suspense sake, we should save those to the very end. How do you feel?
Right, so they don't know if they're on the list or not?
Yeah,
I like it.
Very well could be. And another note is, we always explain how we do this. We assign numerical value to films, ranking 13 through 1, corresponding. Like our number 1 would be the highest and the lowest is 13. But I've doubled our points and threw in a little wild card this year. I think we did the same thing last year. Our staff writer, Jacob, and frequent guest host of this program, he and his list also is being factored in just as a little bit of spice, I think if you and I shared the results with you, what it would have looked like with just you and I and what it was with Jacob in addition with his...
Which is so weird. that like the stuff doesn't really change.
Well, it changed a little bit. Things did move, but for the most part, every film that was on the top 13 remained in the top 13. So,
yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, that's rare.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's really rare that something like this happens. Typically, also, if we look at how you and I aligned,
yeah,
we've never been this much in agreement.
I actually don't know. I feel
like we're getting old.
You think we're getting old? I think
yes.
Some of the films you like less moved higher because of Jacob and the other way around. But like the film that might be playing on screen here now might be on the list somewhere differently if it wasn't for him. But
Dad, don't get too close to the gator.
Oh, gosh.
Sorry.
He's not as fast as he used to be. You got to be careful out there, Stan. Right?
Yeah.
I got pulled.
Yeah, I mean, like, literally, I'm sorry, I'm just a little, he is actually, like, walking towards Sam. Okay.
Are you
sorry?
actually concerned about that gator?
Not for me, because I'm inside. My dad just went outside the gated perimeter.
Let's start at number 13 on the list.
Okay.
I almost had this removed from the list.
Okay, which is fine, but you didn't watch it either, did you?
I didn't, so I feel like it would be unfair of me to do that. So
okay, and if you look at, ironically, I didn't know any of this until after I watched it, but I'm not alone in thinking that this is one of the top genre films of the year. Okay? It actually ended up on a lot of respectable people's lists too. Sure. FYI, Byron. So this was an accidental watch, and this is one of those that would not have happened if we had closed the door. At Christmas. It wouldn't have even happened if we closed the door on January 1st, because I was packing, getting ready for this trip, and was up late, and I watched Cuckoo, Byron. And after Cuckoo ended,
this is not the film. Cuckoo is not number 13.
It isn't the film. After Cuckoo ended, you know how like all of those streaming services will autoplay something, and it started autoplaying a movie, and I was in the middle of attempting to press decals, transfers onto sweatshirts for our family Disney trip, and then just kind of got caught up with it and let the movie play and watched and kept watching, and it just got better, and I absolutely loved it. The movie we're talking about is What You Wish For, directed and written by Nicholas Tom Ney, who was somebody I really had no history or knowledge of. It doesn't look like I have seen anything that he's done. Byron,
I don't know. Perfect Host starring Niles Crane, David Hyde Pierce?
No, although no.
Okay, I think I have seen it, but if I'm being honest, don't remember a damn thing about it other than
I'm not a Frasier dude myself.
Okay,
but it did. The first character that showed up.
I've got to interrupt.
Kelsey Grammer.
His new memoir, which is all about the murder and death of his sister, is coming out next year. So we will most certainly maybe at the
listen
end of
to
this
our.
year. Well, yeah, go listen to my episode about it. But also, I think we're probably going to have to return to it as well.
Because there's more info now. You're reading that book?
I will, of course, be reading that book and probably interviewing him for it. You okay? You're doing like some weird stretches.
Sorry, I thought I brought a glass of water, and I must not have. Just my my spindrift. Okay, so
Hulu. Huh?
He hasn't made a lot of movies.
Okay,
it was on Hulu.
Yeah.
And the first guy that appears on the screen was Nick Stahl, and I just remember him from like, oh yeah, he's in that Terminator movie, and Stan really likes it. So okay, maybe it'll be fine. We'll just watch. Fun, interesting premise. Dude shows up. Dude being Nick Stahl. He's a chef. He shows up to visit a buddy of his who hasn't seen in a long time. Okay. Yeah, they went to chef school together, culinary school together. And he shows up to visit him. Apparently this friend had reached out and said,
you gotta see this place.
You gotta see this place. I'm doing this like private chef gig down in, it feels like, it could be Mexico, it could be Costa Rica, it could be Nicaragua. I don't know. One of those places that rich American people go to see the scenery and exploit natural resources and whatever. Anyhow, really beautiful. He goes, I'm in Florida.
No, but are you doing a review? What?
Well,
just because not many people have likely seen this.
Yeah, it seems strange. It starts slow. It's an interesting premise. You might think that you've predicted exactly what's going to happen in the movie early on, because one of the big what is like maybe 20 minutes into the movie, but I'm not even going to spoil that one because I really want you guys to enjoy it. It's very well acted. It eventually involves, without spoiling anything, it involves a detective from the local area, Detective Ruiz, played by an actor named Randy Vasquez, who was like a Latin American Columbo. And I don't know anybody else that is either old or watches old shows, but Columbo, played by Peter Falk, was kind of this goofy detective that was kind of bumbling and would seem really funny, but actually was just smart as shit and like was paying attention to everything that was going on, but like played it off like, oh, gee whiz, I don't know. And then like you realize that he knew exactly what was going on and, would always solve the case in the end. This guy, very similar vibe, really fun. Some super gross stuff in it. Yeah, like really, really gross. It went a direction very different than what I thought it was going to go. And within the first 20, 25 minutes, I was like, okay, I'm really glad that I didn't veto Hulu's autoplay here. And lo and behold, it ended up on my list, Byron.
So wild.
And high enough, in fact, that it kept the movie on our top 13.
Yeah, which you always unfairly
I always have one.
Yeah, you always do this. You try to I don't know, weigh the indie gems that you think deserve it, just like what was that Canyon movie from last year, the desert one?
Oh, it wasn't Canyon, but it was the found footage one.
Yeah.
I don't remember the name of it. Still loved it.
Thanks for doing that. Glad you did that.
Mm-hmm.
Which actually, from a desert to a lake, number 12 is another.
Or of a swamp. Did you really watch it?
Well, I mean, it's called Cattle Lake is the name of the film.
Yes, but it's a swamp.
Well,
it's a friggin' swamp.
Why? Well, no, not the lake part with the big dam. The swamp is fed by the lake. I've seen the movie, Kelly, and it's coming in at number 12.
Swampy.
It's a little thing about two individuals grappling with the lost as they uncover a mysterious cattle lake. That's not...
Okay, so I'm actually going to go ahead and make you what you just said.
Why?
Because you just spoiled the whole movie.
No, I didn't.
No. Byron, like for real, 100% for real, you actually did.
Okay, I'll beep it, but I think that it becomes fairly clear halfway through. Less than halfway through, actually. But
you really have to beep it. You really have to beep it.
I said that.
Okay.
But I don't think it's the big are implying it is.
Well, I don't even want to imply that there is
Well, okay. I'm not going to argue about this. I'm just going to say right now, I don't believe that this is groundbreaking or terribly interesting at all.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
And then, now why did this make it up here? I did! Stop asking me.
Was
I said 3 times.
But you have to bleep the other thing too, there's I want none of that.
Why?
Because I want to be very cautious about the way that I watched it was a big part of why I enjoyed it. And I don't want to ruin that for anybody else. I watched it without knowing anything.
Okay.
I watched this movie going in, and it kept showing up on my suggested for Max for like a month. And it was showing up as like spooky mystery horror film from 2024 that I needed to watch. And it just didn't look that good. Mm-mm. So I was like, meh. And this one was in peak Christmas prep. And I was wrapping presents. This really is becoming my vibe where I like stay up way too late and sleep like 3 hours, but get like 3 movies watched.
Maybe that's the problem here.
That's what I'm doing. No, this was the first one of that watch fest. But I will say the second one also ended up on my list of that same watch fest. It takes place in, a location not all too different from what I'm looking at here, like swampy, not super high income area. Some folks with, just very basic working class American lives, let's say. Okay. And there we've got a fairly common conflict with a teenage girl and her mom and her stepfather. Fun though, the mom is played by Lauren Ambrose, who those super old schoolers will recognize her from Can't Hardly Wait. Middle old schoolers will recognize her from whatever that mortuary show was. And then people who just jumped on the horror scene will recognize her from Servant. But she's one of my favorite actresses. She's played some really interesting character pieces over the years. Very much appreciate her. All around interesting acting, and I think very subtle, low-key storytelling, parts that are acted well, but if you really pay attention to the nuances, are done, I think, in a pretty impressive way. For whatever reason, Byron was not onto this one. I mean, admittedly, Byron, I know you don't love slow movies, and it was like a
no, but I think you're misunderstanding the parts of it that I enjoy, like of slow, that I don't like. I really enjoyed. There was a moment with the lead talking to what was like a former partner, and for a minute they pantomime kind of like what a night would have been, like jokingly. I think she's like making dinner and for him. Like, do you remember that scene?
So are you talking, because we really have two leads, because they're
Sorry, I'm
dual
talking about
stories being
the
told.
male lead. Pardon me, the male
Dylan.
lead. Yeah, when that young lady shows up, and it's like they're kind of talking about
His
their
ex-girlfriend.
past. Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's this
Yeah.
like maybe 10-minute scene where they're kind of running through like this mock dinner prep moment, and it's really sweet, and you can tell that there's this kind of bittersweet tension.
Okay, so you're digging into the romance stuff.
Well, that's the stuff that I like. It's a good, solid performance.
That's fair.
I don't like slow burn in the sense of like quiet, nothing said like stuff. I'm all about character development. I love that.
Okay, fair. And I liked the way that the characters developed, and you're not really sure what some of these dynamics are. Eliza Scanlon played our female lead. She's from she was in Sharp Objects, which I never saw, and I know she got a lot of praise for that.
Yeah.
She was in Little Women, which I did see also this Christmas season, this holiday season. She played Beth March, and this is really weird. Like, I'm a female English literature major, and I never got into any of those books, but the girls wanted to watch Little Women, loved it. So I was happy to see her in this.
The Gerwig one?
Yeah, the Gerwig version. It was freaking amazing. Like, I'm not much of a crier anymore, and I bawled my eyes out, scared the hell out of my daughters.
Okay.
So she was also in Baby Teeth. She was in The Devil All the Time.
All
She was
right.
in
We
Old,
spent way
which I
too
also
much
didn't
money
see.
on Caddo Lake. We got to move forward.
I'm saying Eliza Scanlon was, I think, one of the best performances I saw all year was her performance in this movie. I think that what she did with it was insanely impressive. And I'm hoping that somebody else watches it and can appreciate it and enjoy it as much as I did. Don't want to say anything else about it. Even Eric Lang, who's like kind of a character actor in horror movies, you'll see him pop up here and again. He was in The Empty Man a few years ago, another one of my sleeper, like, everybody should watch this movies.
Empty Man was good. Did you know that director?
You did end up liking that one.
Yeah. I mean, it felt kind of a lot like a mid-2000s ensemble slasher in like a really familiar, nostalgic, good way. Like, but did you know the Bye Bye Man director died?
No, why?
Stacy Tidal. She had Parkinson's.
What?
Yeah.
How old was she?
She was 56. Super sad.
God, that's awful.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Caddo Lake, this is a shout out to our friend Ken. This is one that you should watch based on the phone call you made and the movie you asked if I had watched, because
I could see it.
It really made me feel the same way that kind of this little pocket of movies did in the early 20 teens that I didn't really know a lot about and kind of stumbled into. Like, maybe my dad recommended them and watched them, and it was right when we were getting started with the podcast, and I'm very nostalgic about this era of like sleeper indie movies before streaming services were like fully dominating everything. So you couldn't just research like, oh, here's a list of like the cool indie horror movies that are out streaming right now. It was a lot. Things were a little bit harder to learn about, and this made me feel that exact same way. Which then I also called my dad, told him to watch it. It was his favorite movie in like years.
Wow, that's actually I don't know, Stan. I don't know.
I absolutely obsessed with it. Okay, and then I have another one because I just have 3 in a row because I'm fancy.
We definitely stacked you up here. It seems like your favorite movies were the worst of this year. Yeah.
Well, it's weird. So the first Omen, I think Byron, I'm going to make a caveat here. If you like the Omen franchise, and specifically if you like the original Omen, I think you should watch this movie. If you are not into the original Omen, this isn't worth watching for
Number
you.
11.
What I really liked about
Omen.
the first Omen, first of all, it has our protagonist from The Servant. So we've got another servant connection here,
Nell
which
Tiger
is
Free,
rather fun.
incredible performance. I'll give you that. It was
She's
really
great.
good. Yeah.
She's great. This movie is, I think, more skillfully tied into the story of the original than just about any prequel, sequel, or reboot of any horror franchise I've ever seen. And it did it in a quiet way. I think we talked about Dr. Sleep doing it in a decent way when it came to The Shining.
I didn't like
this. Blew that out of the water in terms of tie-in. It was spooky. It was very much the same vibe as The Omen. It can be mistaken for something like The Nun or Immaculate because we've got a few of those vibes this year. But really, you guys, if you like The Omen, watch this. If you don't, listen to Byron, ignore it, and move right along.
I didn't say ignore it, and you don't even know if it made my list. It was, what did it end up? Sitting at 15 on my list? Nope, actually 17 on my list. Like,
okay.
Not
But you said
bad.
that my 3 were the worst ones.
Well, I mean, of the films that ended up being in the top 13, they certainly belong at the end of it. Yeah, I agree. No, I mean, it's tough because, like, I did enjoy Immaculate more, but I think that this, as like a script, is more of an interesting story. And, you know, Nell Tiger Free did a wonderful job. Arkasha Stevenson, the director, this is probably why you enjoy this so much, Kelly, directed the 3rd season of Channel Zero, which is one of your favorite little indie
Are we ever going to
shows.
get that back, Byron?
Of course not. It's gone. It's been gone for like over 5 years.
But it's anthology. Anybody could pick it up, you know?
But you could watch something new as well.
I mean, I have.
Plenty of things. But I mean, I think that this is going to fall prey to it being the Deep Impact Armageddon or Volcano Dante's Peak type.
You think so?
Well, with Immaculate and the first Omen, you know, to me, they're kind of sitting along the same lines, even though they're set fairly different apart. Yeah, it's just nun stuff. That's all. It's good. I'm not saying it's bad, but yeah, the first Omen, number 11, which brings us to number 10 on the list. A late arrival for Kelly. I saw it opening week in the theaters. The audience was confused. I enjoyed myself quite a bit. It's Cuckoo, about that teenager who moved to the German Alps with her family. Strange occurrences, bloody visions, and you know, it shouldn't be that hard to ride your bike places.
Such a weird movie to see in like an actual main theater. Like I could see audiences being very like, I liked this, but I could see a lot of confusion.
Oh, they were freaked out. Tillman Singer, long awaiting his follow-up to Lose, which I believe the year it came out, I didn't look it up, topped my top list. Massive fan of that film. He visually makes films like no one else, like nods to that 70s grit, shoots film, but also does like weird, like Lynchian stuff, you know, rest in peace, David Lynch. I don't think we've been on mic since...
No, we can't do it. Nope, I can't talk about it right now. It's going to send me too far. You can't.
But this is...
We got to do an episode.
Well, we could do it behind the screens, yeah. We did do that. Well, I think we did one where it was explored a director's work, James Wan. So let's do David Lynch on Behind the Screams. Yeah, just like kind of weird stuff, and this is what happens when you have a weird brain and you get a little bit of a budget, is you get Cuckoo, which
oh my god,
man, Dan Stevens, he's getting Skarsgård. That's what he's doing this year. Is like, he's usually the hunk, plays like a fairly straightforward character, like dark but not weird. This time he gets, I mean, listen, this is him fully unhinged. Everyone around Hunter is bizarre, and Hunter Schafer gets to star, and that's what I really like about this, is they dominate in such like a like a quiet, confident way. It was such a cool film, and it goes off the rails in a very delightful way. Kelly, I own a flute. I got to learn how to play.
What?
I own one.
Okay, I know how to play a flute.
Well,
I'll teach you to play a flute.
Thank you.
I actually still remember.
I'm looking forward to flute lessons in 2025. Thanks, Kelly. Cuckoo at number 10.
There we go.
It's great. Check it out. I mean, guess what did you think about it? We haven't really
I
talked
thought it
about
was
this.
good. I really need to watch it again because I started losing the thread at a certain point. I was like, what is going on?
Well, I mean,
I liked
reality shifts a little bit as it goes,
Right, but then there was part that I knew I was just confused about. I will rewatch it because I think I'll watch it with Sam too.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. It was a great one.
It's really good.
It made my list.
Yeah, it did make your list, but it was fairly high up on my list. Actually,
Yeah.
I think we all sat fairly close with that. If I look,
Really?
Well, yeah. Let me take a peek at the data really quick. Cuckoo. Yeah, it actually didn't make your list. It almost made your list. And
Oh, right. It was my near miss. Yeah, forgot about that.
It sat very similarly for both Jacob and I. So,
Yeah.
jump into another one I would love to talk about. Number 9. It's about a late 70s, late 70s, whatever 70s, not exactly sure when, late night talk show host as he attempts to boost his ratings by inviting an allegedly possessed girl onto his show. This is, of course, Late Night with the Devil. Folks were going, what would we even call this new subgenre? Archival horror. I don't know. Lost media horror. People were going crazy for this film, directed by Colin and Cameron Carnes. I can't remember if we ever landed on how to say it. Carnes.
We did discuss it a lot.
Well, we did a lot in episode
Cairns,
380.
Irish, I'm fairly sure,
of the podcast. A concept, an era that I love. Let's get the beef out of the way. I talked a lot about how they should have just shot this with studio cameras, You
did.
It looked a little too clean and a little too... it took me out of it. And I think maybe that's the last I'll talk about the way they shot it, other than the fact that all the stuff that wasn't on air was in black and white, which was also kind of distracting. But...
Yeah.
It's all about David Dastmalchian's.
Hold on. That was amazing.
What? I just have
David Dastmalchian.
I added it to the soundboard because I don't ever remember how to say its last name.
Okay, well that's great. I don't know whose voice that was saying it. It was pretty awesome.
Dastmalchian.
Yeah. Wonderful performance. This is like the leading man role that he's been owed at this point for being such a wonderful character actor, and he didn't fail even a little bit to give me all the confidence in the world that he is going to be that moving forward. His performance is just so rich and layered, and there's like pain and control, and there's just a lot, and it elevated what could have been, kind of like a flat project into something really special, which, I mean...
He's phenomenal.
Yeah, of course, and his name is?
Dastmalchian.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people talked about this for good reason. It's a wonderful film. I definitely have some elements of it that I don't enjoy, including some of the special effects and the filming choices, but yeah, it makes up for it in so many ways. And that's why
if it weren't for the last quarter of that movie, it probably would have been my number 2 or number 3.
Quite possibly. It's a little ambitious for what it was. And
yeah.
Maybe,
but I still loved it.
Yeah.
Still great.
And that was the thing. It's like when I was reviewing my notes and writing this, I was like, I have a lot of problems with this film, but it also, I mean, for it being so high on this, like, it must have done some things really, really well. So,
yeah,
enough to make me ignore and look past some things. But that's why Late Night with the Devil sits at number 9. Number 8.
Yeah. Number 8. This is one episode. What was it? 385. Mm-hmm. Damien McCarthy's Oddity, and really interesting dual performance by Carolyn Bracken. We've got a sister who is psychic and a medium, and she is trying to figure out what happened to her twin sister.
She was murdered.
But sisters know things, and this sister, the surviving sister, knows that there's something strange going on here. And so she goes to the side of the crime to try and uncover what's going on. And in doing all of this, she is dealing with, Darcy is dealing with her sister's widowers, I guess, widower and widower's new love. So it's kind of, I don't know. I think it spoke to me a little bit because it's dealing with the relationship between two sisters and kind of this issue of loyalty and, I don't know, avenging maybe.
Sure.
I think I'm psychic.
You're
not really,
psychic,
but
yes.
But I do wonder if one of my sisters passed, if I would like have some weird sense of what happened and be able to go hunt it down. I might be able to.
Danny's character is so interesting in this, fully oblivious to the discomfort that she's putting her her sister's husband and her sister's husband's new wife, the situation.
Oh, and I don't think she's oblivious to it at all.
You don't
I think she's
so?
fully cognizant of it, and I think I love her for it.
Well, I
think
love
she's
it.
Fully aware.
I think it's a really, really wonderful performance that she gives. And the setting is also super unique and interesting. Like they're shooting in this this old castle, but it's like a modern era film, which really sets it in a unique environment.
Yes.
I dug this. I think it was a lot of fun.
And there's this wonderful set piece, this prop, this large wood man.
Yes, yeah.
That is one of the creepiest pieces used in a horror movie in recent memory. It was amazing. I loved it.
Yeah, this is
badass female lead, super spooky, folklore. Love it.
I skipped it at South by Southwest. It was a huge regret. A lot of buzz out of South by for this, and for good reason. What can you do?
It's a great one.
Yes.
Great one. Yep.
I would have expected this to end up a little bit higher on our year-end list, considering like how excited we were. Was it your?
We were.
Yeah.
We were. I liked it.
It settled.
But
it settled down.
Yeah. This is one, Byron, that suffered from my end of the year marathon because if I hadn't watched all of those, it probably would have been near the bottom, but it would have still made it.
So wild that you didn't just let this one actually hook in you and stay that way.
I'm sorry.
Kelly, it's at number 7. Probably one of the most, so much unique this year. I was going to say that this is unique, and it is. It's In a Violent Nature, the story of a relentless reanimated corpse pursuing and brutally murdering a group of teenagers in the Canadian wilderness. It may sound like something you've heard before, but you've never seen it done like this.
No, you haven't.
Kind of like the film I saw over the weekend, Presence. The perspective is it shifted. Like this, we're following the reanimated corpse that is doing the murdering. We're watching him do him, which is kill teenagers for no reason. And it is so fun. Yeah. I would say it's subgenre defining. It really opened the door to like a different kind of slasher. And we talked about it in episode 383, so go back and listen to that. This is a slow burn to me, Kelly. I don't know if this is what you would define as a slow burn. We've got these really beautiful moments that just kind of meander and meditate on whatever is, happening before and after what this killer does. And I mean, it quickly defines itself as like, we know what the killer is, and you can go listen to our episode and listen to us talk about it. But yeah, what were you saying, Kelly?
I was going to say, for me, a slow burn is like, it takes a long time for you to figure out what's going on, and for this, you knew what was going on right away. So I don't know that it was
I
like...
don't know if that's how I would define slow burn, but I'd be curious to know what...
Yeah, for me it is. I don't know that is the like objective definition, but for me, when I'm talking about a slow burn, that's what I like.
See, and that's so funny because like you... And that's probably why you like Caddo Lake so much. I don't like sitting in I don't like being placed in a situation where I'm purposefully left in the dark.
Oh, I like that. That's that's my comfort zone.
I think it's aggravating. Like I think
that's fair.
Yeah,
I can totally see that. I love it.
If you're intentionally obscuring what's going on, like fully instead of partially.
It reminds me of magic.
All right. Well. I get bored and don't watch. But okay, yeah, this movie, In a Violent Nature, there's a lot of focus on like the beauty of this film, the beautiful shots, even though like you're watching a grotesque monster. It is so brutal at moments, and they do it so well and so practically. It is one of the most impressive in terms of those things. It is the most impressive film all year. From the hook and the chain to the wood splitting scene where the guy's paralyzed and getting his limbs cut off. Man, it is so full of unrelenting, dense dread, and
I think that's well put.
It is like that all the way through. I love this film, and I think there's a second one. That's why it's at number 7, In a Violent Nature. Go check it out. I think it's on Shudder. Most of these are at the top of this list.
A lot
are
of them
on Shudder, which is really interesting.
Are Shudder. Yeah.
Which brings us to another film that I thought would have been higher up on your list. I saw this at the Artisans. I think it's an Artisan Select screening at the AMC.
Sorry.
It's a cat and mouse thriller, which I guess it deserves to be on this list. It's called Strange Darling.
I really feel like if this is on the list, I should have gotten to have Civil War on the list.
Well, we both love Civil War, and we'll talk about it in a few minutes. But yeah, it's centered on the final day of an elusive serial killer's years-long, multi-year rampage, directed by J.T. Molnar, New Cat on the Street. We talked about it in episode 399. Aesthetically, so different and so interesting, just like a handful of these movies that we've seen. Ribisi, Giovanni, of course, the DP, did a wonderful job establishing that feel, and truly no better chemistry this year than what was between Kyle Gallner and Willa Fitzgerald. Electric.
It was really good.
Yeah.
It was really good. I agree.
Twisty, not to a fault though, and equal parts timely, smart, and then unhinged. Like you get what you want out of this film and more. It's even funny. I think I don't usually fall for comedic relief in horror films, but the Squatch couple on the hill were delightful. It was really, really just a lot of fun. Yep. Much like In a Violent Nature, the final scene of this is just incredible. Willa Fitzgerald did a great job, and of course Kyle. I can't wait to see what he does now that he is officially the king of indie horror currely. So,
yay!
Very excited.
I agree.
Number 6, Strange Darling. Yeah,
it was good. I'm sorry that I messed you up, Byron.
No, it's fine. I just you just didn't like it that much. You're not a big fan of relationship horror.
Well, I am, but just in a different way.
Yeah.
I really appreciated this for what it was. It just, I guess it was kind of, I don't know, it was a little bit like Caddo Lake for you.
Okay.
Like I could see why this was really good. It just wasn't my vibe.
That's fair. I think that's good. Which I'm going to pass it back to you for number 5, a late entry.
And honestly... Yeah, most of you should
kind of one of
listen.
the reasons that we pushed this whole thing back. Maybe not as far as we have, but
so we could, yeah. Well, and you should probably just go listen to episode 400 so that you can get the whole scoop on it. But Nosferatu, much anticipated, Robert Eggers' latest, and from The Witch and The Lighthouse, both of which I loved. This. Ironically, I didn't even realize it was Johnny Depp's daughter until after watching it.
So weird. It's my favorite.
It's very
real
weird.
estate
I
horror.
agree. It's a very old person move to not recognize that. Really beautiful. Really, really, really beautiful cinematography. Slow, but I like slow. We've already established that. And I just thought the creature effects on Count Orlok were some of the best that I saw. Like, oddly, there were a bunch of like creature effect reasons that kind of locked in some of my top ones.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we talked enough about his mustache. Like
it was awful.
I thought it was pretty incredible. Like, but I mean, I don't know how we didn't talk about the physicality of Orlok really in our review. Is there anything else that we didn't talk about that you feel like we should bring up about it? I think incredible character design, creature design. And over the weekend, I also watched another Nicholas Hoult film that I had been anticipating called The Order, about the white supremacist group.
Oh, yeah.
He killed it.
Interesting role for
very
him.
good.
Did he?
They talk a lot about Missoula, too, in that film.
Wait, we have a lot of I thought that was more like Coeur d'Alene. Really?
In Spokane, yeah.
Us?
Well, they bought the guns, some of the guns they bought in Missoula.
Why?
Yeah, well, I don't know, because they crossed state lines or something.
We're gonna have to confer with our weapons authenticity expert about that to see if that's
we'll look into.
You would know.
We'll
look into it.
I have a lot of information on the Order, which is an actual white supremacist hate group that. Yeah, well, that's for another podcast for sure. But
agreed.
I love Nicholas Hoult. I think he kind of crushed it. And Lily Rose Depp, a lot of people are kind of getting mad that people are getting excited about her. So
why?
I don't know. People are.
She was great.
I think she did a wonderful job.
She was great.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's a nice person. She's a damn good actress.
I think she's a good actress, and I'm excited for the future of everyone involved. Eggers doesn't need us. He doesn't need our praise.
No.
He's probably...
No.
Wait, what?
Doesn't care. He's British.
Is he British? I don't think he's British.
I'm pretty sure he is, isn't he?
No. Robert Eggers...
I really thought he was.
I gave like a full bio of him. He's born in New York.
No, he's definitely American. Doesn't that name sound British though?
Well, of course, and you think that because of the pretentious way that he approaches filmmaking that he would be from another country. I literally did a full bio on him at the beginning of episode 400.
Do you know how long ago that was?
Weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, Kelly.
At least. Could be a month even at this point.
Great. You should, maybe that's a New Year's resolution, is figure out what's going on with you.
Well.
Could you? It's really, it's really hard to tie my wagon to something that is just...
I don't blame you. It is hard. Talk to Sam.
Oh, you're going to hate this. Well, he's doing a werewolf movie spelled WERWULF. It should be coming out in 2026.
I don't love that.
No, it's the Untitled Labyrinth sequel that is currently in development by Robert.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
But it's not called Werewolf.
No, this is a separate film. This is a different film.
We have another Labyrinth coming.
By Eggers, yeah.
That's... Okay, hold on.
Number 5, Nosferatu.
What year?
We have to.
What year?
It's in development. It has no year attached to it. We're
moving.
I'm sorry.
Forward. Moving along. The Substance. Which, by the way, before you dive into it, I will tell you.
Number 4 is The Substance, and it is a film that this is another reason we pushed this whole thing back. I was like, Kelly, we can't end the year without you not seeing The Substance.
And I will tell you that Sam had tied for number 1 of the year. Okay, so one of them we'll talk about in a bit. His second for number 1 of the year was the last third of The Substance.
Wait, so
that's what he said.
I could see that.
Specifically the last third. He really liked it.
Fading celebrity uses a black market drug to create a younger version of herself with horrifying consequences, because why not? I don't know if you recall episode 165, where we covered
Probably not.
This director Coraline Fargett's Fargett? I'm
doubtful.
Probably. Revenge? It was a film about that young lady who gets flown out.
Loved it.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
Loved it.
And I was, as I watched this...
It was so good.
Her most recent film, The Substance, which I believe was just nominated for an Academy Award.
Demi Moore got Best Actress for it at the
pretty
Golden
incredible.
Globes.
Oh, is that what it was? I can't recall if we got Academy Award, but definitely Golden Globe. Shiny, surreal commentary on the things that we consider beautiful in our culture. You know, really, really interesting. Says a lot, shows a lot in a really kind of grotesque way.
To me, it's a toss-up whether the end of it was grosser or the close-ups on Dennis Quaid's mouth.
Dennis
were
Quaid
closer
eating
and
shrimp.
grosser.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
I cannot
God,
believe
that was
Quaid
rough to watch.
did such a wonderful job of being kind of like an elevated, gross version of himself in real life. Really, like that's the character.
I just feel like nobody told him
You think they
that
tricked
he
him?
was
They're like, we're just eating lunch, normal, and then they got a
Right,
camera
and
up in his face.
I don't think he got the memo that he was getting made fun of.
Okay, I think that's
Either
fair.
that or he's just a wonderfully complex human that I can't wrap my head around.
The third act, though, which your lovely husband considers one of his favorites of the year, I should have expected this to be as wet and bloody as it was because of what Caroline did with Revenge. So
There's a plane landing on my head. 1 second.
Oh, that's fine. I'm not going to pause for your plane, Kelly. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
Great.
Well, that's good. That means it must not be quite as loud to you as it is to me.
No, the substance was wonderful.
Good.
Delightful experience. One of the weirder things, and it was kind of the I think this is the feature theatrical premiere for Mubi as a production company. So I'm looking forward to
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they were the folks behind this, producing it and distributing it. So I'm really excited to see what they end up, dropping in the near future. I feel like they're working on a couple new genre things that are going to get the same kind of treatment. So good on them.
And I spoke with my sister and her partner who live in California, not in Hollywood, obviously, but nearby. And I guess it's just interesting because like the gritty, gross, kind of trashy vibe of Hollywood seems to be what this is leaning into, And they said that that's very much like the social sentiment around Hollywood, proper, not like the institution of Hollywood necessarily, but like the physical locations in which this is shot and, play a pretty big role in the film.
Yeah, kind of. You're talking about.
I thought that was interesting.
Sure. Are you
like
just
that
talking
area
about
and the
how it's kind of worn. There's like no
Yes.
real shine on it. Like there's.
Yeah, it's like Once Upon a Time was really amazing and impressive and classy, and now is just kind of gross. I mean,
yeah, I mean, there's something about Demi Moore's character going and picking up this medicine, by at like a pickup box, basically, like an Amazon like delivery location, like having to go underneath a gate that doesn't really open up all the way. Like it's just.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a
It was
really,
very,
really
very
smart,
good.
fun, cool, weird, gross, kind of hot movie,
Yes.
but not even really hot, which is the interesting thing. It's like for
I
the
think
amount
that's what it
of
was.
nudity in this film, it is like one of the least like arousing films.
Yes. Which I think was also an
That's the
expert
point, really. Like,
director. Like it takes a lot to do that as a director.
totally, it's really just an interesting film, and I really, really enjoyed it a lot. But it sits at number 4.
Yeah, might not be able to find two more opposite sides of the spectrum movies than The Substance and I Saw the TV Glow.
Which is sitting at number 3, that's for sure. The story of a lonely teenager whose life is transformed when they make a friend and bond over their interest in a mysterious late-night supernatural TV show directed by Jane Schoenbrunn, who I believe their film We're All Going to the World's Fair was my number 1 the year it came out. Which
I think it was, yeah,
2 years
if I remember
ago.
correctly. And I loved it too. It wasn't one of those that I didn't put on my list.
Oh, totally.
Like other ones that you love.
Yeah. I mean, this just, I think in our review, I can't remember the episode number. I didn't write it down. But earlier this year when we covered it, I mentioned how, the loneliness and the isolation and the awkwardness of the character and how much that related to me as I was growing up, and this feeling of not belonging, not directly in the same way that Jane is, is assigning what happens to this character and the metaphors attached to that. But like the feeling was really there. There's this nostalgic loneliness, and I mean, visually, again, it's just a beautiful film. The elements they bring in, it's like a film made for folks of my generation. Like, I don't know. It's a really tough film for me to even talk about. Like, from Buffy references to parachutes in gym class. Like, it's just attacking you at all levels.
Pete and Pete references.
Sure.
Deeper Pete and Pete references.
Not for me, but yeah, I love this film, and it left me feeling probably the worst that I felt all year. That kind of just ache inside for our poor lead character. And the truth,
I agree.
That trans folks might be feeling when they if they don't embrace, or if they push down this feeling, that's
you heard the announcement today, right?
No, what's the announcement?
Unless you declare yourself either male or female on your US passport, you're not allowed to fly anymore.
Nice, that rules. This is all going super well.
Yeah.
Sorry everybody.
So,
what the fuck?
Watch this movie and at least know that there are some artists in the world that understand and empathize with a position different from that of the loud ruler.
We have some talking about how you and I need to touch base, Kelly, and how we can do our best to support the community and push back as much as we can throughout this. But that's not for right now. I agree. We intend to.
Agree.
Justice Smith did a wonderful job. Fred Durst and Jack Haven, unbelievable, really great.
And Pete and Pete, they did a good job too.
Sure. I love this film, and I saw that Jane's first film has now been re-released on Vimeo, so
awesome. Everybody check that out too.
Yeah, I might put a link in the old description. Self-Induced Hallucination from 2018. It's back. It's kind of like a predecessor to I saw the World's Fair. We're all going to the World's Fair, pardon me. But yeah. Here we go. Yeah. Big drum roll, please. What could it be? Sitting at number 2. It is.
Well, you guys just heard us talk about this one. How funny would that be?
It's Night Swim.
It's Arcadian.
Oh, God. Come on. All right.
I know. No, this is a great movie. We covered it in episode 398. So, just a few back there. You should probably go listen to that one as well. I don't want to spend too much time on it since we just talked about it. Scott Beck and Brian Wood's The Heretic. Hugh Grant was phenomenal. I'll pretty much watch anything that Sophie Thatcher is in.
The Heretic?
Sorry, Heretic. Did I say The Heretic? I do this with Arrival and The Arrival all the time too.
Okay.
Apologies, everybody.
Catch it early before someone else calls you out on a flub. Yeah.
Yep, no, that's good. Heretic. Hugh Grant, Sophie Thatcher.
I heard a girl on TikTok, a horror influencer, call it Heretic.
Oh,
and
I
was like, oh man, you really missed a lot of this. Like,
that is great.
Yeah, and I'm not the best at pronunciation,
really
but
me neither. But that one's pretty bad.
That's a swing.
Yeah, serious swing. So go back and listen to 398, and you'll hear a lot more about it. But this movie was I think most people knew about it because it was a wide release, and it did a great job of being spooky and weird and a little bit surprising. I'm such a snot about endings. I still probably would change the ending a bit, like if I actually had control over it. But
interesting.
It's also one of those that I would love to see the cut scenes from. I feel that about so many movies, but this one I really would love to see what else was in there that didn't make the final edit. Very spooky. Will definitely make you think twice about going on a missionary trip if you are so inclined. And weird, almost blink and you'll miss it Topher Grace piece too.
Oh,
that
so
was pretty
good.
funny.
The whole cast was amazing. I mean, we're about to see Sophie in that new film Companion. Is that what that's called?
Yes, very excited.
From the Barbarian Gentleman. I think that actually comes out at the end of the week, but very excited. Chloe East, I don't know. You love Chloe East's performance. I think she did a great job as well. Hugh Grant, though, man, I just love seeing him go unhinged. It's so cool to see these rom-com boys take a step into genre. So really cool.
Yes.
And I am still going to drop my Scott Beck. Did I just combine their names? I can't remember. Scott Beck and Brian Woods.
No, Scott Beck and Brian Woods.
I got it right. Yeah. On Patreon at thefrightdaysociety.org. So,
amazing. Great interviews.
Yeah, I don't think you've heard them yet, but thanks for your support.
No, totally.
Which brings us to what could it be? Number one. This is divisive. I think we actually might get in some trouble for this one.
Okay, you want to hear something, though, if it makes you feel any better?
Tell me.
This was Sam's number one.
Interesting. Not surprising.
Well, this and, like I said, the last third of The Substance.
Yeah, and we're getting another film from this guy just around the corner. It is Nicolas Cage in Longlegs.
Hold on, getting another one from Nick Cage around the corner? Another one from
pardon me. Osgood Perkins. Yes,
okay.
yes.
Okay. So I was going to say, I feel like Nick Cage releases a new horror movie every week at this point.
Yes. Well, I think he's slowing down a bit. He has been a little bit more particular. I think the tax situation might have been resolved or has been put on pause. Maybe he sold enough haunted dinosaur bones.
All I know is that Arcadian was good too. He did some good work this year.
This year was a better year for Nick Cage. A wonderful showing for Micah Monroe. The story of an intuitive rookie FBI agent investigating occult-related murders in the 1990s in Oregon. And she finds herself uncovering dark secrets from her own past. This, I mean, no surprise. It's like exactly everything that I could want in a film. Loved Osgood Perkins' other work, maybe less so Gretel and Hansel, but he returned by hitting me with...
You need to rewatch it.
You think?
Yeah, just because I'm such a fan of the others that I think I need to circle around.
Yeah, Blackcoat's Daughter was delightful. It was good. But I mean, yeah, Mike and Monroe's wonderful. The coloring, the way the where this is set, when it is set is all like exactly what I wanted. And he didn't disappoint. Like Nick Cage he was there as much as didn't overstay his welcome. His character is complex, but doesn't give you...
Don't do the clip. I don't want to hear the clip.
Oh, I guess I actually might have removed it.
Thank God. Episode 386, in case you didn't say it already.
Yeah, I do have those clips. I'll remove them from the board after today. Kelly, what do you have to say about Longlegs? I mean, yeah.
It was really, really good, and listen to everything I said in episode 386.
That's what you're going to do? Dramatic ending of our year-end list? You just say... We already talked about it?
Well, because I don't want to be redundant. I mean, it was a really, really good movie. And even after my crazy end of the year push, watching all of these that really impressed me, it still ended up. I mean, I actually don't know what order yours were in at the end of the day. But this one was my number one. I don't know if it was your number one.
I think it was my number one as well. Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Just looking at, yours and and then
pretty strong.
Jacob didn't include it in his list, but I'm not surprised at that.
He's just a contrarian. What are you gonna do?
He put The Substance as his number one, and Cuckoo as number two, and Violent Nature at number 3, and Terrifier 3 at number 4. So that was a Jacob move, and that is our year-end list. I can't wait to see The Monkey. The trailers of that get more and more bizarre as it goes, and it seems like a real wild...
Yeah, it's overcoming my Stephen King aversion. Between Osgood and Theo James, I think I'm in.
Wait, you like Theo James?
Also, I think Osgood, yes.
Wait, who's Theo James?
I love Theo James.
Sorry. I was thinking Theo Vaughn, and I was like, what is wrong with you?
Oh, no, Theo James is great. If you haven't seen The Gentleman, not horror, but you should.
No, I haven't.
So good.
It seems like it got King up and out of bed. He's got an arm. He's got one of those wrist canes now, but it got him to the theater. The Monkey did. It must be really, really good. So,
is it out now? No, it doesn't come out for another month.
Is it a month? I think it's not too long from now. But either way, that's our top 13 list. Love it or hate it. Let us know what you think. You can always reach out to us on our phone. You can email us, tweet us, all that stuff. But
Yay!
We were going to do what we're most anticipated, our most anticipated list, but we're going to do that on Behind the Screams as well as what we thought fully fucking stunk. That was a delightful conversation we have already recorded. We weren't...
It was fun, actually. I had more fun doing that one than normal, even. You
Kelly,
had some good ones.
Shouts out to anything that didn't make it on the list really quick.
Yeah, Arcadian, I really, really liked. And I know it sounds crazy, but it's kind of something that the premise has been done many times, but I just really like the way it came together. Nick Cage, he has twin sons, the apocalypse, some really cool creature stuff in it, and actually just a really good father-son relationship movie too. Thought it was actually really, really nice. Out of Darkness, which
stunk. We covered it.
Yeah. No, I really liked it.
We did an episode on it. I think it was.
I know,
it was bad.
And I loved the idea of it. I thought that the premise of an entire caveman language written for a movie was fabulous. I thought it was actually a very relevant piece for our society and where it stands right now. I think we could all probably learn a bit from watching it. Alien Romulus, really liked.
It was
a great entry in the Alien.
It just felt like an
franchise.
Alien movie. Yeah, it fit like right between Alien and Aliens for me. Like
towards the end, the hybrid creature that was alien and human mixed is maybe one of the scariest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, I could give you that. That's pretty good.
And then Byron hated Daddy's Head, but I really liked it. It also had some super spooky visuals. He hated it. Check it out anyway.
I made it almost to the end, and then I bailed. I don't think...
Listen to me.
You're telling people to listen. I thought you were looking at your daughter and telling her to listen to you.
No.
Something that didn't quite make my the top 13, made my personal top 13. Exuma was wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
Really, really good. Long film, but worth it. Yeah, really cool. Mads, a French film shot in one take about a guy that just takes some of the wrong stuff and it may turn him into a zombie, and it follows him through the night as he attacks and infects other people. It's really, really interesting. We didn't get a lot of zombie this year, and this one was different.
Okay.
Some people hated this. I dug it, and not just because I was at the audience of the world premiere. Y2K.
It was on some lists.
Y2K.
I thought, Y2K? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it was Mads for a minute.
It was really, really good. Kyle Mooney did a great job of tapping into what it was like to grow up in the late 90s and, specifically early on in the early 2000s. It's a fun.
Well, I guess I'll watch it because that was me. But
it doesn't quite stick the landing, but it's fun nonetheless. And the only found footage film that, I think the only real traditional found footage film that hit me in the same place it hit Kelly with Caddo Lake would be Frogman, which I loved. I wanted to see it at least in 13, but it didn't make it there. So
I actually really loved it too. And honestly,
great.
If it weren't for all of these great ones at the end, it would have been on there.
Yeah. And then the two not genre enough films, Civil War, and I want to throw Red Rooms in there, the film that Jacob and I covered about the woman obsessed with the case of that serial child killer. Not quite horror enough, but both of those films were just so goddamn good.
Yep.
Like intense. Yep. It said something while being incredibly dark. And I think that they both deserve a shout out.
I agree. And Civil War surprised me. I slept on it for a long time because I heard it wasn't that great. And, I heard so much mixed stuff that by the time I came around to watching it, I was able to go in kind of with a fresh palette and really enjoyed it. Both Sam and I did a lot.
Yeah. So I don't know if we've ever done an as above, so below for a year. I think in lieu of that, and in lieu of resolutions, which we've also done, we're going to switch things up a bit this year and do what the youths are up to, and give 2024, 2025 ins and outs lists, where we talk about the things that are that we're going to start doing or be looking for, and what we're throwing out in the new year, which is active. It's been about a month. So Kelly thought it was personal, which whenever I give her an assignment, it should be assumed that it is for the show, which is a show about horror, hauntings, cryptids, and furious.
Well, actually, we've got two layers of confusion here, because I thought it was just in general things that I think are in or out, you thought they were related trends to what I like. Related to what I like.
Well, I mean, that can be.
And then you said it has to be related to horror, so then I made them all related to horror.
Wow. Well, this is going to be exciting to see how you relate to this fun, quirky concept. We'll see how it goes. Kelly, I'll run.
There's a little lizard. Hi, little lizard.
I'll run you through my list. And let's see if it inspires you in any way. All right, ins, steel books, and special edition physical media. I think that would be a nice. Yeah, the metal cases for DVDs and Blu-rays. And out.
No.
Well,
I don't.
Familiarize yourself.
Now I do, I guess.
Out stealing. In general, I don't need.
When has that ever been in? What are you talking about?
Well, I stole a lot.
This is more nonsensical than mine.
I stole a lot last year.
What did you steal?
Well, I could have films, and then I also was in jail for a little bit. But in people standing.
How did I miss that?
This is a new in. People standing up and clapping for me during AMC, thanking investors and Stubbs members, for which I am both.
Hold on, you are actually an investor?
Yeah, of course I am. I have
How many stocks do you own? How many shares?
Too many, because I keep buying them when they go low, and then it never goes back up.
I don't think that this is a wise investment for you.
Why do you say that?
I'm going to be honest.
And
because that kind of media is really it's...
Wait, what? You think that theaters are going to
sentimentally, yes, I do. Sentimentally, I think it's a great moral investment. It's a bad financial choice.
Ooh, I have 20 shares, 20 AMC shares. Out that Nicole Kidman Heartbreak Feels Good in a Place Like This thing. It keeps getting shorter, but still, it's gotta go. It's
been out for years. I hate it.
In is going to be single screen viewing, where I don't watch, my laptop as well as my other screen or my phone at the same time as movies. I'm going to focus on one screen, and that's it. Out is going to be films over 90 minutes. No more long films this year. I don't need it. I don't have time. Let's do ins.
Whoa.
Utopia and Yellow Veil Pictures. The productions from those folks. Great work. Out, A24 and Blumhouse. I don't care anymore. I'm over it.
Okay, wow.
What?
This is a very... My list is going to be really weird, okay?
Well, you don't have to even do it. You could write it, and then we can...
No, I'm excited about it.
All right. In Casual Frightday, High Strangeness. Yeah, this year we're going to focus on a little bit more of that stuff during our Friday
Okay, see, I'm a little bit scared because I would like to bring something to the table there, but
sure.
I don't. My understanding, anytime I've popped in, everything there gets mocked. Well, I don't want my things mocked.
Out is horrifying violence for no reason. Sometimes we just find something that's fucked up, and then we find ourselves in a corner where we're like, okay, well, next thing. Ins, guesting on other podcasts, which is what I did last week for But Why Though? We talked about Universal Monsters, and that was a lot of fun. Also the Dark Universe, so go check out that episode. Let's see. Out is listening to podcasts. I'm done. There's too many of them. We don't need it. Stick with the ones you got. Too many.
Flipping me on my head here.
Ins, traditional theater seating. I don't need to always be reclined. Sometimes I can just pay attention and, put my feet up on the back of a seat.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's say
these are okay.
Outs, ordering food at AMC Dine-In. It's never good.
Wrong.
It's gross, actually, and it's too
Wrong.
expensive. And it's disruptive.
Right.
I don't
That
like
is
it.
correct.
Great. Let's see.
But that's the only way those people make their money. You got to.
What do you mean?
If you go there, you got to order something.
No, I'm not going to do that. They don't even they don't even come and check on you and get you more water and stuff. It's fine. In's writing on Frightday.com. And outs, I'm going to stop visiting 538.com. I don't need to know what polls are saying anymore. I'm going to try to relax just a little bit.
That's healthy. I think that's healthy.
In scheduled vacations, and out is going to be missing episodes because of stacked stresses and anxiety. I'm going to do my best to communicate.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, when we want to take a week off, we're going to say it, and we'll find something cool to put in its
planning.
Place. Yeah. So
I like that. I like that. Nice. Let's do it. That's great.
Then my final in and out for the year, in more paranormal investigation live streams, which, Kelly, I think we could probably announce this at this point. Camp Frightday is going to have an element where we will be most likely at a haunted prison for one day of it.
And I have been assured that it isn't as elementally demonic.
That is supposedly true, but that'll be really, really big and exciting. The final date we have picked, I don't want to announce it until we're 99% sure, but out is going to be the brothel demon who has been tormenting my soul at night. Kelly?
I mean, like, the weird thing is, if something like that was happening and you actually were experiencing something since that, you just would never tell me.
Of course not. Why would I? Because I don't believe in it. Do you have a list?
Yep.
Is it different, though? Did you understand the assignment? Let's find out. Let's find out. What's your first in?
No. No.
Okay.
Just no is the answer. But we're okay. In.
Are you trying to freeball this? What are you doing?
No, I'm just trying to think of I think I just can't. I just have to go with it. Out is apocalyptic times despair.
What? Okay.
And in is apocalyptic times empathetic hope.
That's not healthy either.
No, I think it's good. Like, you got to be empathetic but hopeful, but you can't be so hopeful that it's disregarding other people's pain.
Did you say apocalyptic
it's a delicate
levels
balance.
of it? Okay.
No, I mean, like, it's apocalyptic times. We can't ignore that.
Okay.
But I'm going to respond with empathetic hope rather than despair.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be drinking unsweetened iced tea during episodes rather than boba tea, because boba tea's out, but I've never drank boba tea during episodes.
Tea? Yeah.
It's really awful, though, and I'm just taking a stand against it.
Okay, interesting.
I'm going to be doing research, listening to High Strange interviews with Lex Friedman and Jack Wagner, and not listening to any with Joe Rogan. With Joe Rogan, High Strangeness interviews are out.
Joe's out.
In are USOs, because that is all that matters now. Everything's in the water. I'm coming to that conclusion. Out are UFOs.
Nice. Uh-huh.
Sasquatch and Yeti are in. Bigfoot and ape men are out.
Wow. Is that just that's just a naming thing, though, with Sasquatch, right?
No, they're different species.
It's like to me it sounds like the difference between film and movie, right? Like one is...
Okay, so if we're talking Bigfoot and Sasquatch, it might be that.
All right.
But at least Sasquatch is paying respect to indigenous folk.
Sure, yeah.
Out is disclosure. I'm so sick of people saying it's going to happen. It's not happening.
Yeah, that ER doc needs to sit down.
He really, it is not happening.
Sorry, buddy.
It's not happening. The best we're going to get is weird little things leaked out. And field trips are in, because we're going to go on field trips and find things rather than continuing to wish for disclosure. It's like cults that keep saying the world's going to end every year. And every year it doesn't. And then they come up with a new reason that it's going to end the next year. It's the same with disclosure. It's just stupid. It's not happening. Out is nuclear footballs, in nuclear ping pong balls.
Now, what does that look like? Just fun.
Less weighty.
Okay.
Less weighty. I like the sport more.
Sure.
I feel like it would confuse
Tactical nukes.
people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jesus.
In is slow, and out is fast.
That's interesting, but okay. Let you think about that.
In, zombies and ghosts and aliens are in.
No, it's all about witches this season.
And serial killers and slashers are out.
That might be. That's the list. Wow.
That's the list.
Kelly, it's going to be a fun year. It has been a pretty good year. And
I know we're not talking about it yet, but have you seen the list of movies for next year that I was...
It's wild. I mean, even the beginning of this year has been fairly stacked. And on that note, Kelly, we did run a little bit long. Do you think maybe we should do our predictions and most anticipated in Behind the Screams?
Oh, sure. You betcha.
Does that sound like a good plan? I know that you have...
That's like an excellent plan.
You have to stay on schedule and lead your group into the kingdom of magic.
Yeah, I have to go stretch my stomach out to eat 14 Mickey Mouse ice cream sandwiches.
You're not Joey Chestnut. You don't need to stretch out your stomach.
I do.
Ahead of a competition. You don't need to eat that much. Just eat
Preacher
what you need.
just said I should go for 15. That's her input.
15 what? Ice cream sandwiches?
Yeah, Mickey Mouse ice cream sandwiches specifically.
Sorry we ran late. We will post a preview for the non-society members, and then the rest you can go to the FrightdaySociety.org for $6.66 a month, or you can sign up for free for 7 days and listen to all you want. I think we're over 140 episodes of Behind the Screams at this point, so
I love that.
Go check that out. Thanks for sticking with us throughout 2024. Weird year, and I can't imagine that this year is going to get less weird, but I'm excited for it.
I mean, it is going to be weird. We need to be a safe space for each other, everyone.
That's right. And
find your joy.
Find your joy, and find us every week, and we will be right here for you. Kelly,
yes.
Enjoy the sun. I'll see you soon. And until
see you soon. Don't freeze.
Episode of Frightday, I will be thawed by the time you return. And
excellent.
Stay scared.
Stay scared, everybody. Bye.
You've been listening to an Audio Wool original, produced by Byron McKoy. Theme music is provided by Yawns. For more programs like this, visit audiowool.co.